Ain't a damn thing pretty unless you're talking about the bridge and seaport. Even from the seats in the upper decks, you can see the seashore. Tailgate function with the carny aside. Just walk from the tribal building for the Padres. I'm on it. Yeah, cause for the 619, we'll knock you down. Anything for the Brown, put it on the town. Started back rocking the Brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for October 22nd, 2022, NLCS Game 4. Padres season, you could probably say it's on the line today. Down 2-1 in the series. Yesterday, frustrating ending with the Profar check swing stuff, and should have had runners on first and second, no outs with Grisham at the plate, maybe a new pitcher's in, maybe Grisham bunts there instead of popping up. You just don't know what happens. They had some spots to come through with timely hits. They couldn't do it. The Phillies did. Segura, Bohm, etc. But today's a new day, down 2-1, but Padres have the advantage, I think. They have probably the better starter. I mean, Clev, yeah, he did not pitch good against the Dodgers. We understand that. But he has had some time off to work with the training staff about his knee. By the way, I don't know if you saw in Kevin Acey's newsletter this morning, but I guess Clevenger is dealing with a sprained MCL, or at least he has been this entire year. I knew he's been dealing. I knew he was doing. Sorry, if I can speak. I know that he has been dealing with a knee issue, but I don't remember the sprained MCL actually being publicized of something that he's been dealing with the entire year. So I thought that was interesting to read this morning. So he's not fully healthy, but he's had some time off. The last game that he pitched was NLDS Game 1. He didn't pitch the rest of the division series, and now it's Game 4 in the NLCS, and he's just pitching. As for what to expect out of Clev today, I don't know. Melvin, he's going to give him some length out, or he's going to give him some. I don't know how much wiggle room Melvin can give him. Clev said he's going to go as long as Bomel allows him to go. I personally am hoping that they can get like 4 innings out of him. He can face the Phillies lineup once or twice, somewhere in between there. Maybe the top of the lineup a couple times. If they like the matchups better, they go to Manaea or Martinez for the bottom half of the lineup that second time around. I don't know. I mean, I think if you have another first inning like he did against the Dodgers where the command's not there or the location's not there, then you get someone up. You get Shamanaya up or you get Martinez up or whatever. You get someone warming up because this is pretty much a must-win game for the Padres. If they lose today, they go down 3-1, and they have to face Zach Wheeler in Game 5. I know that they'll have Yu Darvish on the mound, but we saw how that worked out last time, where both guys pitched well. Zach Wheeler just dominated the Padres, and facing Wheeler with your season on the line, that's not something I want to do personally. If I was the Padres, so yeah, a very important game. I did see Bomel. He talked to the media today, so I'm going to try to get his comments, what he told the media, about what his plan was today. Okay, so here he is. This is from the 97.3 The Fan Twitter account on how he will manage today with so much at stake. Again, it's pretty much a must-win game here.
I know you're hoping Clevenger goes farther than to create a pseudo bullpen day, but during the season you would manage rotational rest like that at different points in time. But when so much is at stake and this weekend so much is kind of at the brink, how do you manage a day like this in terms of decision making in ways you probably wouldn't in the regular season?
Every day kind of in the postseason feels like on the brink, to tell you the truth. And when you've lost the game the day before, it feels even more so. but it just depends on how far he's gone. Sean Manaea is a guy that we've had a lot of faith in this year. He could show up in this game depending on how long Clev goes. But I think it has a lot to do with, what we get out of Mike Clevenger to begin the game with, how many innings that we get out of him to start. So, it's not a scripted deal today. We have an idea how things will go, different scenarios, but it all starts with how Clev performs.
You mentioned Manaea. Since he's sat longer than most of the guys you use, how does he uniquely have to approach this, have himself in position to handle it, and mentally as well?
Right. He's throwing bullpens. He threw to some hitters the other day on the off day at home. The more rest he gets, the better usually his velo is. And as far as dealing with it mentally, I don't think it's a problem for him. He just wants to get in there and help his team win. So whatever role that.
All right, so there's Bomel talking about his game plan. I mean, he's not going to tell you what his game plan is, nor should he. So I wasn't surprised by that. He mentioned Manaea, and it seems like if Clev doesn't go long, if he struggles out of the gate, Manaea will be coming in. That's kind of what I took there from Bomel. And if Manaea does pitch, I'm confident in Manaea, to be honest. I know he hasn't pitched in a while, but he has not pitched yet in this postseason as well. But when he's had time off, his velocity, has gone up when he's come back. So if he does pitch, I think his velocity will be good, and maybe that could help him. And he'll definitely have the energy, I think, when you haven't pitched in that long. I know he pitched on the off day, like Bomel just said, when it was back in San Diego. But I think that was, what was that? What day was that? Was that, I want to say that was Monday then, the off day? So if he pitched Monday, yeah, so he's still throwing and all that, of course. And so he would have had what, like 3 or 4 days? 4 days before today. So yeah, he'll be good. He didn't say how long Clev's gonna go. It's not scripted. I assure you, they have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D for whatever happens in this game, because it's a playoff game. They're going all in. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Bomel does, and Ruben Niebla and the coaching staff, how they do navigate through this game pitching wise. Even if Clev does do well, let's say he goes 4 innings and gives up like 1 run or something. His only start, by the way, against Philadelphia this year in May, he went 5 innings and he pitched really, really well. He didn't walk anyone. Gave up no runs. Just gave up 1 hit, struck out 5. I'm definitely not expecting that because his knee isn't fully healthy. This Phillies lineup, it's clicking. It probably wasn't clicking there in May. I don't really remember that game, but that's what the stats say. Clev's health was probably better at that time than it is right now. So I'm not expecting that, but let's say they get 4 innings out of Clev, 1 run or something. All right, that's great. Thank you. What do they do there? You have 5 more innings to cover. Do you go to Manaea for a couple to get you through 6, and then you just go your big guys? Or do you go, I think this is the route they would go then, if they get 4 innings out of Clev. They go to Martinez for a couple, get you through 6. Morejone's an option as well, but he hasn't pitched in a while. He's kind of like Manaea. I know Morejone pitched in the postseason, but hasn't pitched in a while. Let's say they go Martinez for 2. That gets you through 6. And then you have Garcia, Suarez, Hader for 7, 8, 9. Regardless of the score, really. I mean, if you look at the bullpen chart that I put out today on Twitter, I do that before every Padres game. Garcia, Suarez, and Hader, they're well rested. I mean, Garcia hasn't pitched since the 18th, which was game 1. Martinez has had a couple days off. Excuse me. Sorry. I still don't feel great. Hader hasn't pitched since the 19th. Suarez has not pitched since the 19th as well. So they've had a couple days off at least. So look, the bullpen's ready to go. You're pitching everyone today. That's just the way it is. So that's the Padres pitching side of things here. I mean, look, again, you go down 3-1, you're in trouble, right? You're probably not winning that series. So today, it's a must win. And then on the other side of things, Bailey Falter is starting for the Phillies. His last outing was October 5th, and that was in the regular season. That was against the Astros, went 1 inning, didn't give up any runs, but look, it was 1 inning. Who cares? The outing before that was more of a starting outing. I think you'll see something in between the Houston outing, which was 1 inning, and then that Washington outing September 30th, where he went 6 innings and gave up no runs, right? Because the Padres offense, it's better than Washington. I don't think it's as good as Houston. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think Falter's pitching line will be somewhere in the middle in terms of how long it goes today. I believe Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, said yesterday that he's going to go, or he's going to try to get him one time through the lineup, somewhere around there. So that could be 2 innings, 3 innings, however well he does. And then they go right to the bullpen, which that's I think you give the Padres the edge there, definitely, in this bullpen game. That's what it is for both teams. I think you'll get more length out of the Padres starter, Clev, over Falter. Or maybe the Padres' goal is just to have Clev go one time as well. I don't know. But I give the bullpen edge definitely to the Padres, especially when the Phillies used their top 2 guys yesterday. Alvarado and Dominguez, they both threw over like 25 pitches. Dominguez threw the most pitches he's thrown, I think, all year. 6 outs. So I think if they're in a position to win today and go up 3-1, they'll throw Dominguez out there, but they're probably going to try to stay away from him today and hope that their offense can sneak out a win, or their offense can just get them up by so much they don't need Dominguez. But bottom line here is the Padres, they're going to have to score runs off of either Falter here. Hopefully Bailey does falter today. See what I did there? They're going to have to score runs off of him and the bridge to the big guys, if the big guys do throw today. And those bridge guys for the Phillies, I don't know their Phillies bullpen by heart, so let me look that up. I mean, it's Brad Hand, it's David Robertson, Connor Brogdon, Andrew Bellotti, Kyle Gibson. You might see Kyle Gibson today after Falter at some point. Syndergaard you might see today. So you're going to have to score runs off of them. Syndergaard, Robertson, Hand, Gibson, those guys. Eflin will be available again today. Rob Thompson said that. Who is that? Alvarado. He's going to be available today as well. So you got to score runs off of those guys. And a guy that Padres fans have never heard of, Bailey Falter, today. If he, goes 3 shutout innings to start the game and kind of sets the tone and Clev struggles, like, that's worst case scenario. You do not want to be behind here. I know I like our bullpen better than the Phillies, but being behind on the road, back against the wall, I just don't have a good feeling about that. So Padres need to come up with the timely hits today. Hopefully it's early timely hits. I think that's a key today. All right, getting to the lineups. I'll get to your comments. Don't worry. If you want to support the channel and make sure I get to your comment, you can use that super chat button. And on regular videos, I believe you can use the super thanks button. The Phillies lineup's out. Both lineups are out. Kyle Schwarber leading off in left. Reese Hoskins, he's at first base batting second. JT Realmuto is catching, batting third. Bryce Harper DHing, batting fourth. Look, I still don't understand why he's not in the top 3, but it's working for them, and they're going to stick with this lineup. Castellanos in right field batting 5th. Alec Boehm at 3rd, batting 6th. Bryson Stott is batting 7th at short. Gene Segura, what a wild night for him last night. Had the error, had some great plays defensively, got picked off at first, came up with a timely hit. He's batting 8th, playing second base. Brandon Marsh playing center, and he is batting 9th. Pretty much the same lineup that they continue to run out there. It's just pretty much the same lineup the Padres continue to run out here. Excluding Will Myers, Josh Bell, he's DHing tonight. Brandon Drury's at first. Drury and Myers don't have really any history off of Bailey Falter. Josh Bell, he is hitting 800 off of him, so he's hitting 4th. No one else really has any history off of Bailey Falter. But again, I don't think we should be focusing on Bailey Falter because he's going to go one time through the lineup, and then you're going to go to, or Rob Thompson's going to go to all those Phillies bridge bullpen guys. Kyle Gibson, Zach Eflin, Syndergaard maybe, those guys before going to the back end of their bullpen. They're at hand. So kind of got to look at those matchups as well. I don't have them in front of me, but it's not all about Bailey Falter. That's my point. Profar leading off in left. Soto hitting second and right. Manny hitting third, playing third. Josh Bell DHing. Crony's batting 5th, playing second base. Brandon Drury's at first base, batting 6th. Remember last night, Josh Bell played first base after Myers came out of the game. Bell grounded into that double play. Hopefully you see Josh Bell come through with guys on tonight. Kim batting 7th at short. Final 3 guys, that's who you expect all postseason long. Grisham, he's batting 8th in center. And then Nola, he is catching, batting 9th. I think maybe the surprise in this lineup, other than Myers, if you wanted Myers in it, is Nola catching, right? We kind of, or at least I kind of thought that game 4, you'd have Nola not catch because he's been catching every postseason game. And you're having 5 days potentially in 5 games in 5 days potentially. He hasn't caught this many consecutive games in his career, I believe, yet. So I thought maybe you'd see Alfaro, but the Padres don't have a deep bench. And when you're down 2-1, do you want to potentially go down 3-1 without having your best lineup out there? Like if you put Alfaro there catching, one, he hasn't caught in a postseason game this year. He has not had an at-bat in a postseason game this year, at least from my memory. You're not putting your best lineup out there. And your season is on the line tonight. If you lose, you're down 3-1. It's very hard to come back from a 3-1 deficit. You're facing Wheeler, Nola, 5 and 6, and then would it be Suarez game 7? You got to go all out with the lineup. And Nola, it's easy for me to say just sitting here doing this, but he can rest in the offseason, or he can rest between now and the World Series if they can get past the Phillies here. You're trying to win a World Series. You don't have time for guys to take days off. I think another thing, Bob Melvin looked at the weather, and it might be delayed tomorrow, or they might not get it in. I don't know. The weather in Philly, I guess, isn't going to be that great. So he's like, well, if it's not going to be great and we might not play tomorrow, why would I sit him today then? Nola, that's who he's talking about. So he was going to play. That's their best lineup. Nola, he's been playing well, too. It's not like he's been sucking, and it's like, well, this is still our best lineup. You could make a case it's not. No, I mean, it is your best lineup if Nola's out there catching. Just the plays that he's made, defensively he's done well. And in terms of the lineup, he had that big hit game 3 in the wild card series. And then obviously he had that contact hit in game 4 against the Dodgers that scored a run, where it hit off Freeman's glove. And then in this series, obviously game 2, the hit and run that started that whole thing, the comeback. So, well, the homers did, but in that 5th inning. So, yeah, Nola's going to be in there. He's been very impactful for this Padres team. So that's the lineups. Not a surprise. That's who's going to be playing. I mean, maybe you have Myers come in there at some point, but the Padres, they don't have a deep bench. Azokar, he's a righty. Alfaro, a righty. Campy, a righty. right? So you want a lefty up there? Myers tonight on the bench, a righty. They don't have lefties. So you want a lefty in there? Josh Bell's playing the whole game. That's what I would think. The lefties that are in the lineup, Soto, Profar, when a righty's on the mound, they're going to be Grish is a lefty. Like, you got to have your lefties in there because the Phillies are going to throw some righties at you. So they just don't have a deep bench. And like Bomo said, this is their roster, and they don't feel really the need to go to their bench. He said something to that effect last night, and I agree. All right, so 4:45, the first pitch. Yankees and Astros are playing right now. Looks like Chas McCormick hit a 2-run homer off Garrett Cole, so now it's 2-0 Astros. They have a chance to go up 3-0 on the Yankees today. Yankees, they're in trouble. I mean, did you see their lineup today? They have their third different leadoff hitter of the series. Bader was game 2. They have Rizzo today. They were leading off Judge a lot this year. They have Stanton playing left field for the first time since in a postseason game since like 2019. They have Matt Carpenter DHing because they're trying to go for the offense, trying to hit that short porch today. They have, I think, their backup shortstop playing short because he's the better offensive option. It's not great there. Garrett Cole on the mound. If they don't win today, I mean, they're not winning the series, obviously, down 3-0. One team has come back from that, and it was the Red Sox against them, obviously, in 04. All right, let's get through the chat here and end the pregame show through this chat. I appreciate everyone for tuning in here. As always, I'll have a postgame reaction here, the stream on YouTube. After every postseason game, that's what I've been doing, and it's not going to change. Even if I'm not feeling well or feeling not well. Irie says, Clev, all eyes on him today. This is very important. Absolute must win. I agree. Wolfpack says this will be a deciding factor on whether they re-sign him or not. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I think that's a very intriguing question, or at least the question I'm going to present here. Who would you rather have in next year? Would you rather have Manaea or would you rather have Clevenger? Because maybe they try to make Morahone a starter. Who knows what happens with Nick Martinez? But next year you have Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and then after that you have to piece it together. Do they go with Jay Groom, who they got in that Hosmer deal, as a 5 starter? Do they bring back Nick Martinez, make him a starter? Or does Nick Martinez choose to come back? Is what I should say. And do they try to bring back Clev or Manaea? Do they try to bring back both of them? Or do they go after someone else? I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a deciding factor on whether they re-sign him or not. I don't really think you base one start. I know this is a huge start, but they know that he's not fully healthy right now. They know more than we do. I mean, I like Clevenger, like, as a person and all that. I just don't know how all in the Padres would be in bringing him back, to be honest. Like, if they have to overpay, I don't think they would. But again, this is not an off-season stream. This is the NLCS Game 4 here, Like, we can worry about that later. Yep, I agree, Wolfpack. They have to win because Wheeler probably pitching tomorrow. Yep. Going down 3-1 with Wheeler on the mound, that's not great. Kirsten says Padres need to start stealing bases. Well, here's the thing. They don't have a lot of great base stealers, I don't think. I mean, if Ha-Seong Kim's on, okay. Manny can, but I don't know if they... I mean, after Manny, you have your power guys. So, you want Manny stealing and potentially getting out, taking himself off the base paths? Ha-Seong Kim, he's their best base runner. Azokar's another one, but he's not playing. Yeah, I agree, Brent. I think that's a key too today. Can Clev keep the ball in the yard for once. Hopefully he can. Obviously, last time out against the Dodgers, first inning, he gave up that home run to Trey Turner, I believe. And then he kept the ball in the park after that, but it was a lot of extra base hits, balls to the gap. Don't leave balls over the middle of the plate. Hit your spots. Be smart about the spots. Nola, that is. Nola needs to be smart about the spots that he's picking for Clev, and just execute the pitches. That's what it is. It's all or nothing. Everyone in the bullpen is available. Yesterday, you had a couple guys have 15 pitches, but they're going to be available again today. Suarez, Garcia, Hader, I think they're going to pitch today, regardless of the situation. It's the playoffs. I think Clev will have a short leash, and then they'll go to Manaea if he doesn't go long. If he does give you some innings, maybe you go to Martinez, and then you go to your back end guys. That's what it has to be. Emptying the tank. You can't go down 3-1 and feel like you're gonna go win the series. You can, but you're putting yourself in a tough spot. All right, Talking Friars pregame show. NLCS Game 4. Phillies lead 2-1. 4:45 first pitch. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Ben Thun signing off. I'll be back after the game. See everybody. Go Pods.